Hey ho, let's go, guys and gals, and hello, my friends. This is your host, Joe, Life with Joseph, with my co-host, Dude. And I rambled on so much, I've got 3 full videos to post. And so I'm going to film the opener here of my travel plans. And you're going to see that now. Mahanai then texted me a few days ago, I'm unable to make a cell phone call here, but I could text, and I have marginal internet. So it's just interesting how I could have 5G or 4G LTE with no bars. The screen says to T-Mobile, but I can't make a call. But he reached out and asked what my travel plans were. And I think for now, certainly it's going to be I'm going to stay here. I'm going to go to Flag for the appointment on September 14th. I may stay up here another month, and then I'm going to go back to the hideout. Now, I'm thinking about my birthday and what I want to do, and then I need to make reservations at Lake Pleasant for 2 weeks around Yule, so I could see my brother and sis and the family and such. And I like it up there anyway, and I like my spot 19, and that's the spot that I want. So at least for this year, I think I'm reasonably set. As for my birthday, there's a band called Postmodern Jukebox, and they play modern songs in the big band style. And I'm going to link to them singing, I think it's Jump by Van Halen. And it's arranged certainly in the old style, and they're dressed up in the right clothing, and I like that kind of stuff. I was a big fan of the Brian Setzer Orchestra, and I saw them more than once. In fact, I consider Brian Setzer the consummate entertainer of my generation. Fight me. I stand by that. I stand by what I just said. The consummate entertainer. Now, PMJ is playing in Palm Springs right around my birthday weekend. And I don't quite know if I want to go all the way to Palm Springs. And what else am I going to do there? Except for drive out and drive back. I could probably stay for a couple days in Palm Springs, but I don't golf anymore. It's going to be high season. I have stayed at one of the nude resorts, which I like. I mean, once you swim without a swimsuit, a clammy swimsuit, it sucks. But I just don't know if that's quite what I want to do, or if I want to go to a Boulder City, because the Nevada State Railroad Museum has a train ride on the weekends. They don't have it in the summer because it's too damn hot, but they have it in the winter. And it looks like a pretty cool museum anyway, and I like stuff like that. And I'll probably be willing to spend the weekend price at Railroad Pass. And if I want to go into Vegas, which I probably will, because there's always restaurants that I want to eat at and such. And then I have a friend of mine moving to Mesquite, and I might drive out and see him. You never know. So that's more of an option, I think, to me. And if I buy some type of luggage wagon that I could put my fridge on, as well as all my luggage, then I could drag it all up in one swoop. And I kind of like that. So that's, I don't need it now, but that's certainly on the I probably need to purchase list. So we'll look for that. But I'm leaning more towards that. PMJ is always on tour, but it's my birthday, and I may want to go back to Jackson's too, you never know. So that's kind of what I have in mind for the rest of the year. I still have my $890 Amtrak credit that I'm going to need to use prior to February. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do about that. I have talked about riding the train to Los Angeles, and then taking the Amtrak sponsored bus to Bakersfield, riding the train to Stockton, riding the bus to Sacramento downtown where the train station is, staying overnight, and then riding the Coast Starlight down to Los Angeles, being a little bit more awake this time, and staying overnight in Los Angeles, and then riding the train home. So that's probably what I'm leaning towards. I don't want to lose my $900. So I need to get off the stick about that too. And bluntly, I may do something like that over my birthday, and then January or February, I'll go up to Boulder City and do that. So I still got a lot to think about. Now, I don't know about next year. Part of me wants to go up Interstate 5. I've got Hanai in Redding. I have Hanai in Lane County. That's you, Nathan. I probably want to go out to Coos Bay because I want to go out to where we scattered the dish and the boy. I like Coos Bay anyway, and it has a lot of positive memories, even though the house burned down and, well, we're not there anymore. But I've always liked it. I don't think I want to go back and live, but I like where I live. But I like Coos Bay, and I could stay out at, I could stay anywhere, really. I could stay out at Bassendorf for 2 weeks if I make an early enough reservation. So I need to get off the stick and make some type of determination. And then I could go up I-5. I could see my Uncle Mike. I could see my Hanai Van, who lives north of my Uncle Mike, somewhere off of I-5 somewhere. He asked, so Vin, you're in, yeah, I haven't forgot about you. I love you, my brother, and you're still my brother. Something that energetic is going to really depend on my health, and if I'm able to manage some of this a little bit better than I am now. Some of this Ozempic side effect is really brutal, and some of it isn't. And I need to find out about my what the doctors in Flag are going to say, because like a lot of men who are in their mid-60s, the prostate is an issue, and I need to see if I could manage that. Also, somewhere down the line with my primary doctor in Bullhead, and I told him this, we're going to need to start looking into Loki's gift. Now, he knows about Loki's gift. He said he wants to work on the weight, the diabetes, the blood pressure first, as well as the prostate. He said, we're not going to do it all at once, but we're going to do this first. I would love to have it. I don't think I'm ever going to be well. I would just like to have it managed well enough to where I could travel and not be just so sick all the time. Loki, I'm very displeased with you. I'd also like to drive up to Elko and see my cousin. That didn't happen this year. Her and I had talked about a meeting up and driving out to see her dad, my Uncle Mike, but I'm not able to, and she has a time constraint, so she needs her own car. So we're not going to do that, but I do want to go up and see her. I admire my cousin, and I want to see her kids. And there's a couple. I watch a guy, Bobby G, and Mrs. G, and he lives in Spring Creek somewhere, and he's reviewed some restaurants and stuff, and I probably want to go eat. I may reach out to him. I probably will. So I don't know why you'd ever watch this, Bobby, but if you do, by God, I'll be looking to reach out to you if I go to Elko in 2027. You know, in theory, I could drive up 93 about April and see my cousin and her kids, drive across 80. I've remade contact with my cousin after I shit the bed and I'm too goddamn embarrassed. But I reached out to him, and then my bro Rich lives in Carson City, and I'd stop and see him too, and then I could drive up. I could head north on one of the Nevada highways out of Wadsworth. I could go through Nixon, and then I could go through Gerlach. Oh, I'm going to stop at Bruno's again, and then I drive all the way up to the Surprise Valley and stay at the hot springs. And I'm going to think about that too, and then I could just cut over on California 299 back to 395, and and kind of go in the back way to see my Hanai Vin, and then come down Interstate 5. But we're going to see it, but that's all up in the air. You never know. If I don't make it up north, I'd also like to head east on the Mother Road through Flagstaff. I'd like to stop at Jackrabbit Trading Post and see my friends Tony and Cindy. Their sign blew down last week, and it was like an old-fashioned barn raising for how many people showed up. They had a bunch of money on the GoFundMe, and they're working on the sign being at least it's up, but it's being repaired. So I want to go spend some money with them. And I'd like to kind of head out on some of the stuff I really didn't see with my brother because we had stuff to do. And maybe all the way out to Texas. And then there are some places in New Mexico that we had planned on going until I got sick and we had to come home on the trip a few years ago. Again, depending on health and money. Health and money is everything. But I don't want to wait forever because, goddamn, you never know. You never know when I'm going to wake up dead. Any stupid shit like that, or I'm just too sick to travel. So this is something that I'm also considering. Or, again, if I don't, my roof and my paint are going to need to be addressed within the next 2 or 3 years. I may just drive up here all summer. It's $600 a month. Hell, my AC is $300 a month. So if I turn the power off, it's $600 for here, $300 I'm not paying for AC. It's not that expensive. So that's something else that I thought about is I'd like to go out the Mother Road. I'd like to stop at a couple of places in New Mexico, Pie Town and Daddle. I want to eat at the Eagle Ranch, and I'll talk more about that if I ever, if and when I do that. So I want to add that in as well. So I'm gonna close here about the travel plans. This is, as always, your host Joe with my co-host Dude Life with Yosef. Thank you for watching and subscribing. Enjoy your day. Peace be with you. You know the rest of the spiel. And we'll see you for the next one.